Hi. Hi. I thought I'd show you this engine that I built over the past year or so. It's I think what people call an upside down engine or an overhead vertical engine. There's many names for it, but this was made from all gunmetal, brass, stainless steel, etc. There are no castings with the exception of the flywheel. This flywheel I managed to obtain. It's brass, or it might be gunmetal, and it just kind of fits in with this engine. I love the curved spoke flywheel, which is like in period from an engine. This would be something like 1850 to 1900, and I'll just run over a few things with it. This is the main stop valve, and I can control the speed of the engine through this stop valve. I'm running on air today, but it can run on steam, no problem whatsoever. So the steam would come in through that valve and into the steam chest here. This is an automatic displacement lubricator which is filled with oil, and the steam, being at high temperature, runs into here and displaces the oil, because oil floats on water, and would gradually almost drip feed into the steam chest here and then carry on into the cylinder to lubricate the piston. Now this eccentric here, as you see, bobs up and down, it's an eccentric that controls the valve gear. And when we get to nearly to the top of the stroke, the slide valve inside here would open and force the piston down, and when it got just before the bottom of the stroke, the slide would have moved to a position that lets the steam in to push the piston back up again. And that's basically it. It's two-stroke. It forces at the top of the stroke and at the bottom of the stroke, unlike a car engine usually, which fires only every alternate stroke. The other eccentric here, this one, controls or forces this pump up and down and operates that pump. This pipe here is fed from a reservoir, from water or a tank, which is drawn into the pump, and as the pump forces it, there are two valves in here, two ball valves, which act as non-return valves. It would then pump water back out through this pipe into the boiler, because the boiler, being under pressure, has to have a pump to overcome that pressure. Is there anything else I need to tell you? I'll turn it round later and show it from different... Anyway, we'll get it going. Now if we get it just past top dead centre, it will usually start. Now this type of engine would normally run probably around that sort of speed. It wouldn't run, you know, I see on YouTube these engines and they're running like this. You know, well, these engines would never in the day have run at that speed. So we'll just control it down to, it would have run something like that maybe. 250 RPM, 300 RPM, something like that. And it runs quite nicely. I've run it in now. Originally it was quite tight, which is normal when you first build one of these, but now with it being running for a while, it's running quite nicely. So that's the front view. I'll just pan in a bit so you can see some of the items a bit clearer. Sorry about the airline there, but I won't say much now. I'll just leave it running, tick it over. I'll just turn it sideways, show you the side view. I'll go around the back now. At the back. There you can see the eccentrics working, and that's the pump, of course, in there, which is pumping water back into the boiler. There's the pump down at the bottom. I'll turn it around again. But it runs quite nicely. It's a nice engine. I think we're running on probably about 10 psi. That's about it. And it'll just tick away all day like that. In fact, I left it for an hour or so just ticking over, just to run everything in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed having a look at that. I'll just show you the pump close up down there. And the ladder going up onto the gantry. I'll probably sell this in due course. I'm just about to repaint the boiler base and what have you to tidy it all up, because it's been used on other engines. But another day, I'll when I've finished that, I'll put another thing on YouTube which shows the boiler, probably how I made it, and I hope you find that interesting as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and maybe see you again. Bye for now.